Hello, this is the third video in my new series, which is me reading extracts from my book, Menu for a Spiritual Revolution, Health, Harmony and Happiness. I wonder if you like my cover. I love those colours. That's me, Philip K, coming to you from Chiang Mai, northern Thailand. So I've had two videos in this series. This is number 3, and I'm reading extracts from my book and then just commenting on it, because this book took me 8 years. It took me about 8 years to write, another year or 2 to publish and so on, because I did everything myself. So it took me a long time. So I'm at the beginning of the book, so a lot of this I wrote years ago. Now we've talked about how the world is going a little bit balmy, and it's up to us to fix it, not anybody else. We can't wait for other people. We've got to do what we can. And you know, the usual refrain is, "Oh, I'm one person, I can't do anything." Well, you can. They're the only people who can do anything. It's just one person. There's nobody else that can do anything. Only one person can do something. You don't get half a person doing something. You don't get a billion people together doing something. You might do. You might get a 15-minute global meditation, but nevertheless, it's still individual people doing it. And there's the point. If you come together, you're still individual people, but you're creating a bigger energy force. And yesterday we talked about, or yesterday in the previous video we talked about, we are individuals, but we're interconnected. So it's almost like we're two people rolled into one. There's the unique me, Philip K, and everything about me and my whole bank of experiences in life and everything I've done, which is different to yours. And then there's the things that we're all the same, and we all want friends, we all want happiness and peace, and we all enjoy a good bit of food, and we all enjoy nature. So there's things where we're the same and where we're different. But what's happened is that humans have lost our intelligence. We think we're separate and disconnected from each other, but we're not, and so we act in that way. And this is so if I'm connected to you, why on earth would I try and hate you or kill you or have a war with you? That would be mad. I'd be having a war with myself. In fact, all these wars and everything that goes on in the human world, First World War, Second World War, Crimean War, all the empire stuff, when the Europeans were going around the world, not always doing all bad things, but doing a lot of bad things. This is all civil war. Everything, all wars are civil wars, humans against humans. Okay, so this book says enough of all our wars, poverty and injustice. Enough of the corporate mindset that seeks to control and dominate us all. Its mantra is that enough is never enough. Always more it seeks, inexorably marching like a gigantic swarm of locusts, devouring all in its path. And it will take us all to oblivion if we don't stop it. We are already halfway there, perhaps closer. Now, I wrote that several years ago before the madness of 2020 erupted. And 2020 is not the cause of anything, it's the result of so much that went before it. Think of a volcano, a volcano's there, bubbles away a little bit, but it's dormant for ages, and then one day it suddenly erupts. The pressure's too much. It can't keep the lava in, and now it erupts and everything comes out. And that's what happened with humanity in 2020. We couldn't hold the pressure in any longer. Now, one of the things that we do as human beings, because we're disconnected and we don't understand that we're all connected, is that we get involved in the blame game. And I used to do lots of blaming. In fact, it's why I went on my own spiritual seekings, because I was fed up with blaming the elites, fed up with blaming the powerful people that were committing crimes. They still are, but in me blaming them, I was getting angry and I was getting into rages, and I was the one with the negative energy. And me ranting and raving about them didn't stop them, they carried on. So all that was happening was that I was filling up with negative energy. And in fact, that was the beginning of my spiritual journey in life, because I needed some solutions. And my book, Menu for a Spiritual Revolution, is all about solutions. So this book says enough of all our wars, poverty and injustice. Now, I can't go out and suddenly stop it all, but I can definitely improve myself. And if you do the same, and millions of people start doing the same, then we get change. Injustice. Enough of the corporate mindset that seeks to control and dominate us all. Now, so going away from this blame game, you've got your CEOs of the corporation. The CEO is mandated by law to return the maximum yield and profit for its shareholders. So we might think that the CEO is a bad man who's doing this and doing that, but okay, maybe. But he's doing his job, he's in his context. I'm the last person to defend crimes against the planet. I hate them. But if we're to solve anything, if we're to fix anything, we can only begin with understanding. And we have to understand each other, and we have to understand ourselves. And we don't understand ourselves and each other because in our psyche, we've been conditioned and brought up to believe that we're all separate human beings. Separate from each other, separate from the earth that birthed us. It's nuts. It's nuts. This is why we have so many problems, because of this huge misunderstanding. But and it's materialized into what I call the corporate mindset. So the corporate mindset is you work for a corporation, you've got to work hard and you get lots of money. Quite often you've got to sell your soul to the devil, but you're going to get a lot of money. And maybe you're so busy you don't have to face your conscience. But at some point, when people get into their 30s or whatever, they've been earning lots of money, but they've been tired and they've been working hard and drinking and partying, and it's all beginning to catch up now. And one realizes that everything is, in fact, a state of balance or imbalance. And the corporate mindset is the consumer. It's the buyer. It's getting money. It's getting fame. It's getting things. I want things from out there. I want. And this is why I say its mantra is never enough is never enough. It's like an addiction, you know. If the boy goes into the sweet shop, does he willingly leave? Does the cigarette smoker willingly stop smoking? Does the drinker stop drinking? Does the person who loves donuts, it's very, very difficult. And this is an addiction. And so it may be that the corporate mindset is the ultimate addictive tendency of the human mind. And it ruins everybody, including the mind of the person who is rich because they're working for the corporation. So the CEO is no better off than the street sweeper. In fact, probably the street sweeper enjoys life more than the CEO. Always more it seeks, this is the corporate mindset, inexorably marching like a gigantic swarm of locusts devouring all in its path. The locust just eats, it never stops eating. Arguably, this is the consumerist, materialist human being mindset. Never stop consuming, never stop eating, never stop devouring. And I don't just mean food and alcohol and pills and drugs and all that, I mean information as well. How many hours a day do we spend on our phones doing social media? We're always consuming information, consume, consume, consume. And if we're not producing, we're living imbalanced lives, and that's why we feel agitated, frustrated, that life is not quite right, and yet we seem to be stuck and powerless. We can't quite escape our situation. It's because we're consumers. The moment you start doing things, become proactive, productive, creative, and you're doing things with your mind, with your hands, you're playing sport, you're doing a project. We all know this. When you play a musical instrument, you play a sport, you create something, you build a little business. Whenever we're doing all that, we're actually doing stuff. And this balances out the consuming bit. And therefore we lose, the corporate mindset loses its hold on us. This corporate mindset will take us all to oblivion if we don't stop it. We are already half there, perhaps closer. Well, I actually think 2020 was we've had loads of wake-up calls before, but 2020 is perhaps our last chance saloon as a species. For me, the virus is a virus of the human mind, and a virus's job is to detoxify the organism in which it has become alive. Now, I'm not a doctor, I can't tell you where it comes from, how it arrives, but I have studied wellness And as I said in a previous video, you don't go to the hospitals for wellness, you go to the hospitals for sickness. So if you don't want to go to a hospital, you need to be well, and if you need to be well, you need to know how to be well. And a corporate mindset will not make you well. So there we go. We are on our way to oblivion, but the good news is, there's a phrase, isn't there? Out of a crisis lies an opportunity. It's always darkest in the hour before dawn. Out of the ashes arises the phoenix. Well, we're in our collective ashes at the moment. The human world's gone absolutely bananas in the last 3 years. It was bananas before, but now it's decided to, it's just, everybody can see it now. Very many things are happening. People don't want to look into it because it looks too dark and they don't want to go down that path. But until you look into the darkness, you will not find the light, because the darkness is in you and the light is in you. That's why I wrote Menu for a Spiritual Revolution, Health, Harmony and Happiness, because the only way out of whatever suffering you have as an individual being is by your own deeds, your own endeavours, your own work. And you can't make changes unless you learn new stuff, new ways. So that's the key. To conduct your spiritual revolution, you become a learner, a lifelong learner. And I don't mean the kind of boring learning at school, which isn't, it's just one, it's not even learning, it's a sub-skill of learning, memorising. That's one sub-skill of the learning skill. In my classrooms, students are speaking, listening, writing, reading, reflecting, thinking, comparing, contrasting, investigating, challenging, questioning, all kinds of things, discussing, debating, articulating themselves, doing projects, all kinds of things. That's learning. So when we decide to do our spiritual revolution, we are saying, okay, I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to learn how to learn. I'm ready to change my mindset. I'm ready to expand my heart. And now I'm open. I'm vulnerable. I could be weak, but I'm not going to be weak myself. I'm going to be getting stronger, but other people might think I'm weak. But you can't let that stop them. Can't let that stop yourself. And this is one of the things we're hamstrung by, worried what other people think about us. In 2002, I was reading my Osho books in Chiang Mai, learning about spiritual thinkings and everything, and suddenly it clicked in me, I don't care. And that to me was the key to dropping most mental and emotional suffering. Now I couldn't articulate myself at the time. I don't mean literally I don't care about anything, but I don't care what other people think about me. And in not caring, I'm liberated from the fear of being judged and evaluated by other people. And so now I can be my true self. I can learn who I really am, and I can be myself. And I'm going to be operating from positive energy. So the interesting thing is that people are more likely to actually like me and want to spend time with me by me not caring what they think. That's the food for thought from this video. I don't care. Ruminate on that, good friend. I'll be back again with another extract next time. Till then, bye-bye.